believe it was Firegrow Cup number 7, where these were the two finalists. Like Shameless and Wayne, I believe they were both the two finalists in Firegrow Cup number 7. Now they face off here in the group stage. And here we go. We have our best of 3. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Erehome, we have the yellow Zerg player himself. It is last month's runner-up, Wayne. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy. Last month's 3rd placing player, it is Shameless. Was he 3rd place? No, sorry. No, my apologies, my apologies. It wasn't last month, it was number 7, correct? Double checking. No, not number, was it number 6? Was it number 5? Gee, am I, where has my memory gone? Gee, time flies. Yeah, number 5, there we go. I was like, no, yeah, he came 2nd place in number 7. He came 2nd place number 5. This was what, back in January? Back in December, the December edition of Firegrow Cup. It's been a while, it's been a while. All the months, they all blend together when casting StarCraft. Aye. So, Shameless, he's December's finalist, which quite some time away is what I will say. Quite some time away. So it's been a while since said edition. And we'll see how they do compare so far. Standard openers, hatch gas pool. Likewise, welcome one and all to Erehome. Erehome is one of the smaller maps, or is the smallest map in the tournament map pool. It is the rush map, very short rush distance by ground. Likewise, very difficult to defend third base location here. I mean, there is a choke point you can take advantage of. Likewise, there's a ramp coming into the triangular third. There's also a choke point in the center. There are certain positions where you can take a greater fight defensively, but it can be very difficult to actually maintain these positions, very difficult to defend, just because of the rush distance by ground. All-ins are favored here, and we see a lot of all-ins on Erehome. Question becomes, who's going to be the aggressor? Who will be the aggressor here? Do we see Wayne cut workers, start out an early roach run and go for a roach rush? Do we see a German taxi? Likewise, do we have a Twilight Council opener out of Shameless? Where are we headed? Where are we dropping? Let's go. So now it's going to be the initial Stargate from our Protoss player. Stargate opener out of our Protoss. Meanwhile, Wayne just getting his 3rd, joining on up, saturating his bases. So far, so good. As we are nearing the end of the broadcast, we have 2 series remaining here tonight. Before going to bed, we do have another cast in a couple of hours. It is going to be in 5.5 hours. In 5.5 hours time, we're going to be live once again with the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit. I'm hoping I can get a couple of hours sleep before the cast. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping. But we'll see. We'll see. Depends how long these final 2 series are going to be. Shameless, he does shade in. Does shade into the main. So far, good reaction by Wayne. He walls up with the Eva Chamber. Sport Crawler is being thrown down. And Shameless doesn't really achieve too much with this. Does shade into the natural, though. Gets 1 drone, gets 2. 2 workers going down, punishing Wayne for cutting Lings. Getting a 3rd, but not quite a 4th. So 3 drones for 2 adepts. I would say a better trade for Wayne. He does defend well, does deflect. Spores finishing up in the main base, and the Queens are in position here at the natural. Despite that, wants a drone. Gets 1. Gets 1. Gets up. Barely 2. And 3 worker kills, not bad. The Oracle will escape. 6 in total. Lings at the same time they counterattack, but I believe the 2nd Oracle does arrive in time to defend and to protect the 3rd. 3rd base does take a lot of damage, takes a lot of hits, but the Oracle is here in time. Deflects the Lings. Oracle does deflect. Early Eva Chamber out of Wayne. This should be +1 melee. +1 melee here from our yellow Zerg. Likewise, standard follow-up out of Shameless, going into +1, going into a Twilight Council. This is so refreshing. we'll see if we can get there because Wayne is link flooding, by the way. Wayne, he's link flooding. We have +1 melee on the way. He's rushing towards that third base. He wants to force the cancel. He wants to deny the third. We'll see if he can. It's a big investment here by Wayne. As Wayne does cut workers early. Lings, they rotate over towards the third. Oracle does respond. The Adept taking a lot of hits. But there's a full wall. Yeah, there's a full wall behind this. Shameless, he defends. And again, Wayne, he's falling a little bit behind here. He did cut workers to make this happen, and so far it was not worth it. He gets one probe. Just the one. But for those who weren't here earlier, we have covered quite a number of PvZs tonight. We covered Strange versus Nikic and Art versus Young Yakov. And at no point in that series did... Oh, never mind. God damn it. I was going to say, at no point in that series did we see Stargate opening into +1 into Blink. Like, into like a standard game state. Like... This is a bit of more of a rarer sight tonight, and even then it's not Blink, it's going into +1 in charge, into an early charge timing into Chargel Archon. Okay, so much more aggressive here by Shameless, and this does make sense. We mentioned earlier that aggression is favored on Era Home, and speaking of, I mean, I'm sure that's why Wayne did commit so hard. Wayne, he's unsuccessful with his Ling round by, and Shameless is going for his own earlier charge timing as well. It's going to be off of 3-base economy and 3-base saturation, that is true, but this will still hit very hard and very fast. It's going to be on Wayne to survive this. He throws down his Roach Horn. Again, this is a bit of a later Roach Horn timing here from Wayne. Oh. Oracle takes a lot of hits, takes a lot of damage. Oracles, he wants the Queen. We'll get it. It's one Queen, takes down 2 drones as well before pulling out. That's damage here from Shameless. Meanwhile, charge lots are amassing, Archons as well. We're getting ready for that push. Getting ready for that move out. As Link's out, I mean, Wayne, he does confirm. He is aware. Roaches are building up. Now, as Shameless moves out, Lings are moving in. These are the Lings that were built earlier, and they might still find some damage. Should they force a recall? As for now, just a defensive warp in. Shameless, he commits. He just commits. He's moving out. Back at home, shield battery goes down. Zelsi are defending. Oh, the queens are exposed. Diving on the queens. One queen does not go down. Okay, nice save. Does pull away in time. Roaches have built up. There's not enough zealots. Not enough charge lots. Shameless, he has to pull away. The oracles are under fire. Uh-oh. Does leave them idle. Couple of adepts take shade into the natural. One oracle goes down. And Wayne holds. Wayne, he does hold on. Shameless, he does miss his timing, does miss his opportunity here. Prism just now arrives as a late war Prism. He can still pull this off though. But once again, another Ling run by. Now the Roach army is building up. Now we're just getting a larger and larger Roach force. Wayne is that much more secure. Lings are caught out there. Things are caught. Oh, looks like there was a bit of a pause. Hopefully everything's okay. See, I made the mistake of being like, oh, maybe some Uber Eats has arrived. You know, just getting his food. It's making me hungry now. I just no, not like this. The army is building up. Getting into double immortal production. The storm is on the way. Shameless is gearing up towards a longer game state. The aggression earlier has failed. And we'll see how Wayne does approach this. Wayne is also just droning, saturating. Infestation bits on the way. He's taking up towards Hive, towards Vipers, towards Lurkers. We're slowing things down. Despite both players being aggressive in their own ways, that has kind of fallen by the wayside. Whether it comes to the first charge timing or the initial Link flood from Wayne. Now we're just slowing things down. Game is slowing down. Hive is on the way. Again, that's going to be for Lurker Tech, and I was going to say for Lurkers and for Vipers, but that's a massive Doom Drop that's being set up here. Wayne making 6 Dropalords. Likewise moving out through the center with purely Roach Hydra. Wayne, he cannot fight this army head on though, and I don't think he really intends to. You know, massive zealot charge, or just charge the warping across the map. Getting into the mineral line. Last not quite getting much done. You know, Wayne going for his own June drop as well. So far, unscouted. Zealots, they are getting some drones at the natural. Oh my god. Main army gets caught. But here comes that Doom drop. I believe there's still a recall available. Is that recall? Shameless catching out some roaches. Yeah, decent engagements. You know, drop lords into the main. Likewise, drop lords also in towards the fourth. Shameless out of position. Does it recall? So let's go for the warp in. He can buy some time. Contamination here on the forge on +3. Nice contamination. Probes are going to be going down. And he's racing back home. He's racing back home, racing back into the main. He's being torn apart here. Probes are going down left and right. And Wayne, he has control of the main base. He depowers the Stargate. Even snipes it. Fleet beacon was on the way, but now there's no sky toss. Likewise, Wayne moving in. Does take a storm to the face. Does take a storm. 13 probe kills. Nice damage. Oh, Wayne is getting caught out though. Please add a couple of units. Please add a couple of Hydras. Drop lords back in towards the natural. They do get spotted. Not much anti-air. Remember, there's no blink. No blink. Drop getting into the mineral line, getting more probe kills. And Shameless just can't keep up. Nice stasis though. Stasis trap does buy some time. But Wayne, now his hive is done. Now lurker upgrades are on the way. He can morph in his lurkers. We got drop lords in every single mineral line. Shameless getting pulled apart. There's another mothership on the way. Likewise trying to move in, but the fourth base is going to be broken. Takes down the mineral line. 13 probes going down in the base as well. That's all that Wayne needed. Across the map, we do have some chargers moving in. Oh, going for the Lurker 10. Looks like they will snipe it, not bad. Lurker 10 goes down. Wayne pushing in, Shameless moving in. He has so many immortals. It's insane. He's got 10 immortals. It's crazy. With 10 immortals, he can break a siege line of Lurkers. But lastly, he has no economy, right? He has no fourth expansion. He does have a decent worker count, but he's heavily oversaturated. Shameless, he has no longevity in this game. Another drop into the main. And Shameless is being forced all in. Just being forced all in at this point. He has no economy. He has no bases. More workers going down. And he has to end the game with this army. Now, it is a hefty force, don't get me wrong. There's 10 Immortals, 4 Archons, 5 High Templar, each with at least 1 Storm. This army can get a lot done. Bearing in mind, Lurkers are not ready yet, which means only 3 Lurkers to defend. I mean, not even. They're across the map. So 0 Lurkers. Oh no! High Templar get caught out. 2 High Templar go down. 3 left. Another High Templar falls down to 2. So just a brutal start to the fight here for Shameless. Now he's moving in. More Hydras on the way. If he was able to preserve this High Templar, then he'd be okay, but yeah, the High Templar forced him morph into Archons. Hydras, they come in to reinforce. We set up a surround. And this is all that Shameless has left. Boys are being pulled. Chargers, they do come in to reinforce though. Can he still do this? Shameless takes down the Hydras, takes down the Queens. Stutter steps forward. Wow, and even without the storms, he's doing this. He busts on in. Shameless, he was forced into the all-in, but it's Arrow Home. He can all in. True. He can pull this off. He needs more weapons, though. He needs more reinforcements. There we go. Zelsa coming from behind. They barely come in to reinforce. There's Cloak. Cloak gets activated. Immortals are pushing forward into the main. Zelsa gets surrounded. Zelsa are surrounded. But the natural is compromised, and there's barely an army remaining here. A couple of roaches are trickling in into Immortals. Rough trades here for the Zerg, for Wayne. Losing every roach. Oh my god. GG gets called. Shameless, he busts on through, and Shameless takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Very impressive here. Again, Shameless, he was torn apart. He was losing base after base, mineral line after mineral line. He had no economy. He was completely all in. But remember, because he sniped sniping the lurkers, the lurker den, I should say, was the game-winning move. Like, imagine if he tried to go for that all in, and there were, what, 5+5 up to 7 lurkers waiting back at home. He doesn't break through. He doesn't move in. Like, suddenly, it's a much more difficult all in there for Shameless. But he sniped the lurker den, and we saw that there were no lurkers as a result. The lurker den was still being rebuilt as the all in was happening, so there was just no lurkers to respond for Wayne. It was purely a couple of roaches and mainly Hydra to defend instead. And we saw that Shameless, even with limited storms, he had enough. Did have enough. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Shameless, who will take game 1, and now we're getting into game number 2. And we'll see if Wayne can recover. We'll see if he can force the ace match. Again, that's what we're hoping for, but the pressure is on. As spawning in the right-hand corner of StarChild, we have the yellow Zerg player down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can recover. We'll see if he can force the ace match. It is Wayne. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy, leading the series 1-0. It is Shameless. Here we go. Getting into that second game. We're dropping in. And again, the last game was very intense, very back and forth. They both had their moments, of course, especially when it came to Wayne just pulling his opponent apart with the drop lord play, with the lurkers, with the run-bys as well. It's very impressive. But alas, it wasn't enough. It's not enough in the end. And we'll see how Wayne will approach this time. As welcome, we go from two extremes, the smallest map in the tournament map pool to the largest map. Welcome 1-0 to StarChild. StarChild is, of course, one of the larger macro maps in the map pool. One of the older maps as well, from TLMC 17, not 20. As a result, we see a lot of longer games. Now, it is still a little bit different compared to some of the macro maps in the current ladder map pool, for example. Even though there's a large base count, even though the map is large, I will say that this map is more accessible. Maybe not as extreme as Frostline, but regardless, rocks, they can be knocked down. Bases are a little bit more accessible when it comes to run-bys, when it comes to counterattacks, when it comes to army rotations. So it is more difficult to turtle on StarChild compared to Abyssal Reef, Neo Violet Square, King's Cove. Compared to the older ladder maps. Here we go, Cybercore is done, getting into a take of choice. As a reminder, last game, Shameless did go for a Stargate opener into +1 and charge for an early charge timing, which wasn't really too successful into, later, like Charge or Immortal Storm, Archon. There's that Stargate for Shameless. And likewise, Wayne, just droning, just saturating, building up. Go. Oh, as we did have a bit of a pause. So far we're settling in. Last game was Shameless pausing, this time Wayne. The Uber Eats has arrived. Let's go. So far Shameless just poking in, no major damage here, just poking and prodding. Wayne is keeping up. So far just droning, there's no early Evo chamber, no early tech. As he hasn't pulled back into gas. So far just standard game. So far, so good. Now, when it comes to getting into our standard game state, I do expect to see Shameless not going into charge this time. I do believe that one of the big reasons why charge was chosen as the follow-up tech from Shameless was the size of the map. Now that we load into a larger map, something like an early charge timing is weaker on StarChild. So we expect Blink. I'm not saying that's what will happen, but just what we're expecting to see. We'll see if Shameless does deviate. Likewise, Wayne just droning. He may just go for a faster lair for delayed roaches into Ling Hydra. Not uncommon to skip roaches on larger maps as well, to cut corners and be more efficient. Roaches are usually a safe way to play, but if you don't expect your opponent to be aggressive, then roaches aren't necessary. As Lings, they poke in across the map, third is being taken. And there is that Twilight Council alongside the Forge. So standard follow-up here by Shameless again. We're expecting Blink, but we'll keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, early Eva Chamber out of Wayne. It's Eva Chamber first. It should be plus on melee into Ling Hydra. As you mentioned, there's a higher chance here that Wayne does skip roaches, just because of the map itself. Shameless moving in. Things they come in for this round, they get one adept. Meanwhile, transferring workers get caught. Adepts they shade into the main. Getting one, getting two. Nothing major though, just 2 drone kills. Oracles they come in to clean up though. Decent target farming. They get 4 drones in total. They don't get a 5th. They get zoned away, and Wayne defends. Wayne, he does hold. Does cost him 6 workers, but I believe that was for 6 workers for 5 adepts. Not the worst trade for Wayne. Behind this, droning, saturating. Again, there's that melee upgrade. Lair is on the way. No Roach Warren. Ooh, this I was not expecting though. Shameless, calm down. I mean, like, first things first, as Lings, they do threaten the third. First things first, +1 and Blink. Again, that is to be expected, but the rush into the Fleet Beacon, that is not. Cheeky move here from Shameless. It looks like this is a Mothership rush. Now, the goal should be to build up a ground-based army, not to rush into Tempest or Carrier, but to build up that ground army to go for the Mothership, maybe reinforce with sentries, and then recall across the map. That's what I assume. I believe this like Mothership rush was very trendy at the start of the patch. I'm referring to like November and December of last year, especially amongst the European Protoss players. It didn't really become too popular amongst the Korean Protosses, I will say that. But it is a build that we see every now and then. As things poke in, as I mentioned, Ling Hydra out of Wayne. Now Wayne is keeping up. Here comes that Mothership. For now, for the time being, the Mothership is actually looking to join up with the main army. So instead of going for a recall across the map, we might just see just a main push, just like a frontal assault. We'll see how this all comes together. As the Oracles, they get into the bases. They get their relations off. They confirm the Hydrogen. They confirm the lack of Roach Warren. Jesus. Did you see that? For a second there, we had annual pulse crystals on the way. That was crazy. Does cancel, thankfully, going into charge. Temple Archives. I mean, there's a lot of tech on the way, so this tells us that we're not going for an early push. Mothership has arrived, but Shameless is building up towards later upgrades. Meanwhile, Wayne, he's cutting workers. He does cut workers at 73. That is, what, just under 4 base saturation. Building up his Ling Hydra. And the Mothership is going to be used as a more defensive tool here. No moving out. Mothership is revealed. Wayne going for 2 pushes at once. He has 2 armies. He has one towards the left, one towards the right. Distract Shameless at the same time. Does collapse here on top of the 3rd base, going for the cannons. Cannons are going down. They're trying to buy time. Shameless, he has to respond to this. He responds with a couple of Stalkers. Does leave his main army at the 4th. More Lings are fighting forward. I feel like Shameless has underreacted. Where the Storm about to finish, is still on the way. Yo, we got the Slowlots. Slowlots come in. And Stalkers, they do get here in time. Yeah, Shameless, he defends the 4th. He cannot focus on the main army. Oh, that's going to be a kill on the expansion. Ay, ay, ay. Again, it does feel like Shameless, he did underreact here to the 3rd. But at the same time, he does snipe every single Hydra. Oh my god, expensive trade here for Wayne. I'm afraid to look how many Hydras just went down. 22 Hydras. The efficiency here, especially gas-wise. So Shameless, he does hold. Now he has Storm. Storm is done. He does transfer all his workers over. Did lose a base, but does take the probes. And Wayne is not stopping. Remember earlier we mentioned how Wayne, he cut workers at 73. He has not droned up. He has not droned up to 80, which means he's also not taking gases and he's not teching into Hive. So there's no infestation bit, no lurkers, no Hive. This is basically a lair all-in. Just a Ling Hydra lair base all-in out of Wayne. There's no further tech. He could be working towards a Hive, towards lurkers, but he's not. And storms, they're popping up. They shut down the Lings. They force back the Hydras. The storms are brutal. And Wayne, he's gonna lose everything here. Yeah, he cannot take this fight. The storms are insane. So I'll run by across the map. A couple of probes do go down. But this main Hydra force just cannot gain any ground here. Not against this kind of army. Not against the mothership. Not against all these stalkers. And again, initially I thought it was going to be a mothership rush to be aggressive, but no, it's just, again, used a little bit more defensively instead. I mean, part of it may also be because he did scout the Ling Hydra. That is true with the Oracles, if you recall. So Shameless just did decide to go for a more defensive start, and very successful as a result. Results are dealt with. Wayne, he still has not droned up in like, what, 3 minutes? He has not been droning. They do hit the 4th. Shameless keeping up. He has how many? Templar 5. Getting to double immortal production behind this. Wayne, he's still not droning, he's still not transitioning, still not teching. It's still just pure Ling Hydra. Oh, going for the High Templar. There's the first storm. Gets one High Templar, forces out an Archon as well. So very nice pickups here by Wayne. Basically catching out 3 High Templar. Wayne is being forced back. Oh my god. Yeah, brutal slow zone on the Hydras. There's no escaping this. Not like this. And I do worry for Wayne just because he's being outscaled. Now finally, after what, like 5 minutes, Wayne, now he's droning and now he throws down infestation, but this is so late. It's so incredibly late here for Wayne. He's not set up for a longer game. He was all in essentially. It was just a, what, 3.5 base all in. The Zealots, they hit the southern base. They're going for the expansion. Wayne, he does snipe the 4th for a second time, but at the same time he will also lose the base himself. There's a recall. There's a recall back to the mothership. Not a base recall, interesting. But true, there is a second recall available. True. Wayne, now he starts up a 12-minute Hive, 12-minute Lurker Den. He's on 4 bases. Again, not the best saturation yet. Wayne is getting there. As Wayne, he needs time. Right now, he just needs to buy time here to get into his own Lurker tech, to get into his Spellcasters, Vipers, Infestors. Shameless, he's not going into Skytoss. At this point, I would say that he has the opportunity to. He could throw down like a second Stargate and go into Carriers or Tempest. That is a viable option here for Shameless, but instead he's committing to a ground army instead. And he's going to be the first to max. Like you can see here, this is just a reason as to, or I should say this is the outcome of the failed all-in, is that Shameless is already at 200 supply. He's up 40 supply compared to the Zerg, which is crazy in this matchup. Often never seen. Usually it's the Zerg up in supply to make up for their otherwise inefficient army. Like Shameless has a massive lead. Now, the longer this goes on, the better it is for Wayne, because Wayne, he's slowly catching up, right? He's catching up when it comes to the quality of the army, when it comes to the lurkers, when it comes to +2, when it comes to lurker range, all the tech. So Wayne, he desperately needs more time. Meanwhile, Shameless should be pushing. Remember, Shameless still has the base recall. Like, he has not been spending his recall, so the recall is available if he needs to. He can be more active. And he needs to punish Wayne. As he's pushing onto creep, catching out some of the lurkers. How many lurkers are available? There's going to be 11. 11 lurkers here for Wayne. Now we see the second Stargate. There's a late second Stargate for Shameless. Getting into +1 air attack. Now he's rotating. Lurkers are trying to keep up. This is a very robust army, but it kind of pushed into the concave. Army's forced back. The Zealots, they do hit the right hand side. They take down some of the lurkers. Force Wayne for a Schwand. Tectonic destabilizers on the way. Going for Tempest. Oh. Nice storms. Another zoning storm as well. Shameless pulls back. Denies an expansion. Shameless still achieving quite a lot here with his army. But he has missed the opportunity to kill his opponents. Oof. And brutal fungals. Shameless has to pull away. Tempest production has begun. I still give the edge to Shameless, but Wayne, he's recovering. He's getting back up there, slowly. This is on 5 bases. I believe the Spire is done. Crazy? Never mind. I swear I saw a Spire on the way earlier alongside the Ultra Cavern, but never mind. So no Spire for Wayne, unfortunately. So no access to Corruptors. I swear I saw one earlier in the production tab, but I'm also very sleep deprived, so I could have seen things. But I saw it alongside the Ultra Cavern. Shameless does rotate. Ultra's even in the mix. Panda's plating. Only +1 carapace though. Ooh. Yeah, the Ultras are very fragile without the carapace upgrades. Ultra's not built for this. Likewise, Wayne, he's been trying to expand, but he just cannot. As Wayne is maxed out. So both armies are maxed, but one army is not quite like the other. I still do favor Shameless's composition as he's getting into more Tempest. Tempest count's still very low though. He's getting there. Get into a Sky Toss. We have Mass Infestor on the way. Remember, Microbial Shroud is a different spell than it used to be. It is a little bit more viable, but at the same time, there's still plenty of storms, so ideally, Wayne, he has to get out of these Hydras. But again, there is no Spire. Shameless, she takes us to the southern base. Just fully walling up. Cannon, shield batteries. It's fully set up here. Wayne trying to hold his own. Shameless, he does peel up. Wayne moving in. Sorry, Shameless moving in. We do go for the Neurals actually. Oh my god. Okay, Neurals here on the Archons. Slow zone on the Infestor zone. Mass Storms. Storms, they pop off. Infestors, they do survive. Archons, they hold their ground, but the Neurals are running out. At the same time, Wayne tries to push in towards the left-hand side. He takes a Storm to the face. Oh my god, the Storms, they pop off. And Shameless, he defends. He defends on the left-hand side. Likewise, on the right-hand side, he breaks on through as well. The Tempest, they reign supreme. And sure, there were Neurals on the Archons and Immortals, but the Tempest, they still pop off. As they take down all the Ultras, they take down the expansion. Wayne, he's knocked down to 4 bases. 4 bases remaining. There's a recall as well to reinforce. Shameless, he's remaxing, making more Tempest. And Wayne is still stuck in making Ultras. Oh god. There's 8 more Ultras in production. I mean, the best chance here that Wayne has is Neural, I guess. He can try to Neural the Tempest. He can try to Neural as much as he can. Not going to be easy, though. Wayne does go for the run by. There is a base recall available. As the Mothership goes down. Massive snipe. Meanwhile, defensive Warpin deals with the Lings. And the expansion does fall. Here come the Ultras. Ultras, they commit. Neural's coming in as well. A Storm on the Ultras. Neural on some of the Tempest. God, but it's not going to be enough. Yeah, the Storms are brutal. GG gets called. The Tempest, they still overwhelm, and Shameless will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Again, Shameless just having a much cleaner, I would say, mid-game. As a reminder for those that may be tuning in halfway through, Wayne was all in. Remember, Wayne, he was completely all in with Ling Hydra. Remember, he was stuck on 73 drones on only Ling Hydra for, what, the first 12 minutes of that game? It was crazy how committed he was, and he failed to break Shameless. Shameless, he from there just got ahead. He was able to take a lead, got into Skytos, got into his 4-base economy, into Charge Lots, into Storm, into Immortals, into Archons. Shameless, he did successfully defend very well against the all-in, and Wayne, he was kind of stumbling his way into the late game. That's also why Wayne, he just had a really hard time droning, getting a 5th base, and taking up as well, because it was all just late. It was just late tech, late droning, late saturation. The all-in failed, and GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting ready here for our next matchup. We're getting ready for the final best of 3. The final best of 3 of the evening here. We're going to be jumping into a PvZ between UED Soldier and Nigger. So congratulations to Shameless. Again, a very strong showing here by Shameless. Historically, Wayne, he has had the upper hand on Shameless. So for Shameless to take down Wayne 2-0, very impressive. Especially considering that it wasn't really any kind of cheesy player to Shameless. Shameless, he was the defender more than anything. He was reacting to his opponent. I guess Shameless had some aggressive tendencies on Erahome, but so did Wayne, to be fair. So again, Shameless thriving in a later game, which is also what we saw in the finals back in December, when Wayne, if you recall, in the later games, which was when Shameless thrived. It was in the early game aggression and cheese and all-ins where Wayne popped off. But with that, we have 1 series left. Again, Nikic and UED Soldier. Let's go jump into game number 1.